but take two. So I'm out here working on some paintings and tried to change the way I want to do things, and suddenly I'm choking on a phlegm ball. So it's gross, like when you're having that shit. So we're going to start over, go back to square zero, and come at you real. But today I'm working on my painting, and I'm having my thoughts. And I want to share something with you. It's important because it's a transitional point in my life, and it's an archetypal understanding that many of us will resonate with. And what I want to say is, I am child. I was brought into this world through the birth canal of a human being. I am child. And as child, I do my best to live up to that, what is child. What is expected of child at certain stages of growth. And at some point, you have to acknowledge what the perception of the child is from either those that are your caregivers or those that are in your environment. And at some point, being child is not okay, and at other times, being child is everything. It doesn't matter your age. This is an understanding of certain properties and reflections how people see you, not who you are. So I am child, and I live up to that to the best of my ability, in the context, in the spaces, and in the places where I'm living out that dynamic, that archetype. It isn't a mask per se, but when I am in my child, I am not my sovereign being. I am not my masculine being. I am not my dominant traits. I am child. Child is then my dominant trait, and it requires me to be patient, kind, loving, considerate, quiet, reserved, respectful, and all of these other things that were placed on me as child. Now, that does not mean that those are the archetypal understandings of child, okay? Within that, there are layers of how we are learning to understand the role of. Okay, so I understood the role of child to be these things. And I look around out in the world and I say, that's child, that's not child. That's child, that's not child. Oh, that's child, I like child. And so we see what we want to see based on our understanding and based on how we were raised, maybe, or the environment we were in. So when I am around people who expect, anticipate, or look at me as child, I reserve myself and act like child. Very clear. Then there are times when I am in the archetype of mother. I have given into that parental role. And so as mother, I have that archetype where I live inside of that. And I have had to work with my specific offspring to reconcile their understanding of mother and my understanding of mother, the archetype of mother, the world's view of mother, the zodiacal requirement placement on the Cancerians as the archetypal mother. That's a whole different, universal review of what is mother. And so many people have idealized the mother that now we have a lot of mother wounds because mother's not always nice. People forgot who mother was. Mother has a shadow side, so we have to take into consideration, again, what track someone was on from child archetype to the next phase or stage. So then I went to maiden archetype, and then I went to a mother archetype, and then I go to crone archetype or whatever, and so, but is that the path I take? Maybe I go from maiden to mage to saint, maybe I'm taking on a whole different path. And, we have that in the masculine roles and in the feminine roles. There's the archetypal in me that is the dominant masculine archetype. And in that same sense, I don't have the same drive as the masculine. So I have to reach down deeper inside of myself to pull out my masculine. But my dark feminine is, in a sense, my masculine reserve. So we have that. And that is the light and that is the dark. And in the masculine, we have that overtness and we have that reserved sensitivity. We do not give that sensitivity to everyone. In our masculine, I am strong. I am sovereign. I am solid. I am man. Only certain people at certain times and certain moments get to see any reserve of weakness, any reserve of tenderness, any reserve of emotion that might let them think they can have some manipulative control over me. Women, on their other hand, and when they are in their feminine and they are not clear in understanding the role of masculine and feminine in themselves and others, they can very easily fall into what I would see as the feminine who is not revered. And it doesn't matter if you yourself are being honored through your work. Like I honor myself through my work that I choose to do. I honor myself through the relationship that I choose to have. I honor myself through the words and the work and the things and that I put out into the world. And I honor myself through that which I put into my body and take in and consume mentally, physically, whatever. So I'm honoring myself. When we truly and fully honor ourselves and we say, okay, well, I will take myself as a reserve in this position so that I can elevate this position. If I choose to be a house husband or a housewife, or I choose to be a sex worker, or I choose to be a celibate. It doesn't matter what label, what role, what I choose to be in this earth, in this life, as long as I elevate it and bring light to it, bring understanding to why it's a part of what is the experience to be. There are some who live without all experience because they are cut off from those experiences. Those experiences either bad, they have a label on them that makes us feel like it's not for us, or it's just something that's never come across our purview. I don't know about a lot of things out there in the world. This is a big bad place, like there's all kinds of stuff going on, but it's also a wonderful, delightful place to explore. So I want to get out and do as much as I can. So there's a balance. I don't know about all the things. I haven't been to all the places. I haven't seen all the things. So part of me in my choice as a sovereign being is to politely step out of the role of child. I will always be child, but only to certain people. And when those people have passed, and I don't have to reserve myself as child in a position or a state of being if I choose to no longer be child. We can do it respectfully. We can walk away with grace. We can keep that connection. We can maintain those bonds. We can allow them to see us as something other than child. There are people who you don't see them, like, oh, the last time I saw you, you was 2 years old hugging on your mama's ankle. Okay, it's nice to reacquaint myself with you. How are you doing? I'm an adult now. Let's get real, But no, a lot of times we just, and I'm never going to see you again probably, or oh, you're always going to be my auntie so-and-so, even though we're not related. And you have to accept that if that's what you choose. But if it cringes you and you don't like it, this is where you step into your sovereignty. This is where you bring your masculine side and your feminine side together and you say, you know what? I really appreciate that you remember me so fondly, and I really appreciate being respected in this way now. And so that's where we come back to being revered. So we can be appreciated, approved, and doing all the things, but if people are not respecting us in a way that offers us reverence to our soul being, to what we were placed on this earth to be. Yes, I am child. I'm not here to be child. I am here to be mage, mystic, oracle, mother, teacher, student. I am here to be so much more than child. So hear me. Be more than the box that you are in. Pop yourself out. It hurts sometimes, but pop yourself out. Some people are going to try and push you back in. Pop yourself out. If somebody is always telling you you are a certain way and you appreciate that, live it. If you are being told you are a certain way and you do not appreciate it, review it. Study it. Learn about it. Because what you will most likely see is that you are putting up a boundary that is keeping somebody else from getting to know the real you. You may be putting up a boundary because of an internal wound, something that needs to be embraced. I love it about you. I love it about me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to embrace it. Some days I don't want to, so I let it go because that's the choice that I can make. And no one's telling me what to do or not to do. I do not have to live in child. So I just would like to, kind of wrap that up. But we want to understand within ourselves who we are and when we need to be embracing a different type of energy, embracing a different archetypal understanding. I am and I can be. There are differentiations and there's truth and there's unity. We are integrated in ourselves and we can say, I am. And I can be. I am loving and I can be mean. I am mean and I can be loving. I am and I can be. We are all in the capacity. None of us lack that capacity, save for some true things in this 3D dimensional world that would prevent us from physically doing the thing. Most of us are capable of all the things, okay? It's just our mental reserve that locks us away from it, really. So keep that in mind the next time you meet somebody and you feel a flush of energy, some change in your overall being, you can understand what those sensations mean more if you tune into them. You can place yourself in an archetypical understanding, saying, oh, I run into this person and I feel this way and I associate it with these things. And so that means I'm not acting as myself. I'm acting as this. I'm not acting as this. I'm acting as that. And we can bounce that. And that is an energy reflection. Those are some of the initial exercises for our empathics to when we're learning to navigate different energies, and for the psychic intuitive mediums while we are learning to negotiate some of what is mine, what is theirs. And as long as we are willing to step back and reflect and not tie ourselves up full on emotionally and jump down the rabbit hole and jump into the bed or jump into the whatever, take your time. Time is fluid. Time is solid. Sleep on it. Have a dream or three about it. Give yourself 30 to 90 days. Life takes time. And sometimes it takes a while for people to adjust to the different energies within their life. So, I've lived with people for 4 years and found new discord. I found new challenges. I have found new ways to love. I have found new ways to share. So we can understand each other when we choose to. And that's the compromise that I'm talking about. It's an internal compromise. What are you willing to give up? What are they willing to give up? Are you willing to negotiate your emotional happiness, mental clarity, and intuitive understanding? Because in your environment, people are constantly questioning you, so therefore it makes you want to question yourself. People are constantly checking up on you for no other reason than they're bored, but you don't know what it is because you have some trigger traumas from childhood, And so we'd have the opportunity to look at a lot of that stuff, and from that perspective, bring it in, integrate it into our shadow, and come out of whatever dynamic is creating that archetype that we're sitting in, and reclaim our central being, the I am, without causing major disruptions, without causing havoc and calling ourselves out as black sheep and being all dramatic. I've been dramatic all my life, but I keep my drama to a minimum. I keep it internal mostly. Sometimes I freak out a lot. I beat myself up. Oh, I could have done this. Oh, I could have done that. I downward spiral for years. And I realized through progressive learning about myself and my environment and my walk and my journey where it's brought me here, I know that there were times in my life where I was right and I was made to believe that I was wrong, and that will snap you. And if there is somebody around doing it, you will snap on them. And God help you who's got the sharper knife. That's all I'm going to say. And who loves who more? And you better love yourself more, because ain't nobody else going to do it for you. You are your child. You are your child. Protect yourself. Love yourself. Get yourself the fuck on. Be the man. Take care of yourself. Be the woman. Love yourself. You are a whole fucking being. Go be it. I love you.